Lawn care can be a huge annoyance, especially in the summer heat. But what if there was a way to keep your lawn looking perfect without ever having to lift a finger? That's the promise of the Sunseeker Orion X7, the robot lawnmower that's been handling my grass. No more sweating under the sun, no more pushing a heavy mower, and no more giving up your weekends to yard work. But here's the big question. Can this robot really do the job as well as a human? Let's get into it, and if you're interested in checking it out for yourself, I will have a link down in the description below. Now, let's dive into the brains behind the Sunseeker Orion X7. First up, we've got the navigation system, which is like giving your lawnmower a GPS and a pair of eyes. The Orion X7 uses a combination of satellite positioning and visual technology to map out your lawn with incredible precision. But what really sets this mower apart is its vision AI system. Think about it. If you're mowing your lawn and suddenly you see a garden gnome in your path, you'd simply steer around it, right? Well, the Orion X7 does the same thing. Its binocular camera acts like a pair of eyes, constantly scanning the environment. Using deep learning algorithms, it gets smarter over time, learning to recognize and avoid obstacles better with each mowing session. Next, let's talk about its all-wheel drive capability. This thing can handle slopes up to 35 degrees, which is pretty impressive. To put that into perspective, that's steeper than most residential staircases. So unless you're living on the side of a mountain, this mower should be able to handle your terrain with ease. But what about those tricky spots where the grass height varies? That's where the floating cutting mechanism comes in. It'll adjust its height on the fly to make sure it's cutting at just the right level, no matter how bumpy or uneven your lawn might be. Now, one of the things I love most about this mower is how quiet it is. I actually thought it wasn't working for the first few minutes that it was mowing. At less than 68 decibels, it's significantly quieter than traditional gas mowers, which usually hit around 95 decibels. And to put that into context, it's about as loud as a normal one-on-one human conversation between two people. So you could literally have the Orion X7 mowing your lawn while taking a phone call on your patio, and it wouldn't interrupt you at all. Now, one thing you don't want to do is mow your grass while it's raining. And the Orion X7 knows this. If it starts to sprinkle, the X7 will automatically head back to its charging station thanks to built-in rain detection, and you can set how long you'd like it to wait to restart the job after the rain is finished. Now, all these features contribute to a pretty hands-off mowing experience, but let's back up for a second and talk about what comes in the box. Opening it up, you find the star of the show, the Orion X7 itself, but there's more to it than that. The package also includes a charging station and something called an RTK base station. Now, if you're scratching your head wondering what RTK means, don't worry, I was in the same boat. It stands for real-time kinematics, and it's a crucial part of the mower's navigation system, connecting to a satellite system in the sky. And it's one of the reasons that the Orion X7 doesn't come with a bunch of boundary wires. You know, those wires you typically have to bury around the perimeter of your lawn to keep the mower in check. Yeah, there's none of that here. This wire-free setup is a game changer, making the installation process way simpler than I expected. Setting up the X7 is pretty straightforward. The first step is finding the right spot for the charging station and base. And the key here is to place them somewhere with a clear view of the sky so they can communicate with the satellites to help the mower navigate your lawn with precision. That part is very important. Now, remember how I said there were no boundary wires? Well, that's because the X7 uses a virtual boundary system, and that's where you get to play lawn cartographer. Using the mobile app, I literally drove the mower around the edges of my yard with the joystick interface, kind of like a video game, to establish the perimeter. And the app itself is pretty user-friendly. It's not just for creating boundaries. You can also set up different work zones. So maybe one for your front yard and one for the backyard. If you have a tricky corner that needs extra attention, that's no problem too. And if you want to avoid that patch where your kids' toys always end up, you can set that as a no-go zone. The Orion X7 can handle complex garden layouts, adjusting its mowing strategy based on all the different zones that you define. So we know about the features and how easy it is to set up, but does the device actually deliver on this promise of hands-free lawn care? So let's talk about how the Sunseeker Orion X7 actually performs. After using the robotic mower for a while, I've got some real-world insight to share. First, This machine is a workhorse. It can mow up to 0.75 acres, which is pretty impressive. In my experience, it consistently covered my entire lawn, which is actually just over 0.75 acres, within 5 days, just as advertised. And I can't stress how awesome it is to be working inside and just look out the window and see the lawn being cut day after day without me needing to do anything. It'll even cut the grass at night. I have it set to go 24/7, so as long as it has a charge, it knows that it's okay to go out and mow. Now, my lawn isn't exactly a golf course. It's got some slopes and uneven patches, but the Orion X7 takes that all in stride. Thanks to its all-wheel drive system and rugged off-road tires, it easily navigates everything. I do have stairs in a couple of areas too, but the app allowed me to block those off with a virtual wall, which means the Orion X7 didn't go tumbling down them. Now, the charging station is where the Orion X7 lives, and also, obviously, where it charges up. The base model that I'm testing comes with a 5 amp hour battery, which was more than enough for my lawn. And as I mentioned, it consistently completed its mowing tasks within that 5-day window. When it needs to charge, it automatically returns to the base station, tops up the battery, and goes right back to work to finish its task. The Orion X7 has an IPX5 waterproof rating, which means it can literally hose it down after use. As for blade changes, I haven't experienced that yet, but from the looks of it, it's pretty straightforward and you don't need to do it that often. But here's something to consider. While the Orion X7 does a great job cutting grass, it doesn't collect the clippings. This means you might need to rake occasionally, especially in peak growing season. It's a trade-off for convenience, but worth noting if you're particular about your lawn appearance. Now, let's compare this to traditional mowing methods in terms of time saved. It's no contest. The Orion X7 works tirelessly while you're free to do other things. As for lawn appearance, I found that the consistent, frequent mowing actually improved the overall health and look of my grass. After spending some time with the Sunseeker Orion X7, it's clear that this robot lawnmower is a game changer for anyone looking to simplify their lawn care routine. The setup is straightforward, the operation is quiet, and the cutting performance is outstanding. With advanced navigation and obstacle avoidance, it handles various terrains with ease, making it suitable for almost any yard as long as you have a clear view of the sky. The convenience of app control and the ability to set virtual boundaries without physical wires are standout features that make this mower user-friendly. The solid battery life and automatic recharging ensure that it can handle regular mowing tasks without constant supervision. However, the initial cost might be a barrier for some, and it should be stressed that a stable Wi-Fi connection and again, a clear view of the sky is essential for optimal performance. Additionally, the lack of a grass collection feature means you'll need to handle clippings separately if you want to. Overall, the Sunseeker Orion X7 delivers on its promise of efficient and hassle-free lawn care. For tech-savvy homeowners willing to invest in cutting-edge technology, this robot lawnmower is a worthwhile addition to your smart home ecosystem. Again, link in the description if you want to check it out for yourself. Thanks for watching as always, guys. I appreciate your support. I'm Andrew Webbers, and I will catch you in the next video.